Hi, this is Ned Siegfried from Siegfried and Jensen. As proud sponsors of BeliefCast, we hope you are inspired by Todd's weekly podcasts, which contain so many courageous stories of recovery and personal growth. Remember, it's not what happened in the past that matters, it's what happens in the future. We invite you all to work hard and be optimistic about your future. Enjoy today's podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Todd Sylvester with the Todd Inspires BeliefCast. Thank you for tuning in once again. I love you guys for your support and believing in me. This has been fantastic, and I can't believe the feedback that keeps coming in of people that have been inspired from the stories that we keep hearing from these amazing guests. And today is no different. We have an amazing person joining us today. Her name is Heidi Tucker. Heidi, thank you for joining us.
So great to be here, Todd. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited for people to hear your story today.
Yeah.
I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors. We have Siegfried and Jensen. Thank you so much. Wasatch Recovery, Veracity Networks, and iHeal Institute. You guys are fantastic. I can't thank you enough for believing in me and supporting this great cause and getting these stories out to as many people as we can. Again, thank you for tuning in. So a little background on Heidi. Heidi is an award-winning author and speaker. Her first two books, Finding Hope and In the Journey and Servie's Song, have won Book of the Year, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And Best Inspirational and Best Cover Awards as well. She has a new release. I guess it's not so new right now, but The Secret Keepers, which we're going to talk about. It's inspiring readers all over the world. Heidi has a gift for writing and speaking about light and hope. She's very passionate about hope and light, and you reference those two things a lot, and I'm excited for our listeners to hear more about that. Heidi is also known as a great storyteller who believes that every story not only teaches a gospel principle or a true principle, but can make you feel it. She motivates many to rise up, cling to their faith, and position their hearts to recognize God's hand in their life. Beautiful. I love that. And whether you believe in God or a higher power, Heidi is very faith-driven, and I really appreciate the way she lives her life. And here we are today to hear her amazing story.
Yeah. So good to be here.
Yeah. So why don't we start, Heidi? Tell us where you grew up and maybe a little bit about your childhood.
I am an Arizona rat.
Oh, nice.
I come from the desert in Arizona, and, I can survive triple-digit temps, and winter for me is 50 degrees.
Yeah, that's so funny. My brother lived in Arizona, and he'd come up here, and it's 60 degrees here. We're in shorts and he's in a sweater.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I would just laugh at him.
Oh yeah. When we come up mid-June, when I left, I'm here in Utah right now for the summer, and when I came up in the middle of June, it was 119 the day I left.
Oh my goodness.
And I got here, and I was spending some time over in Midway Park City area, and I was in a sweatshirt.
That is funny.
Because of the extreme. But yeah, I'm the oldest of 6 kids, and born and raised in Arizona. I flip-flop back and forth between Arizona and Utah, and love the beaches in California. Primarily stay west.
Right.
But I've got 4 married kids, and I just turned 60 this month.
Right on.
And I'm loving that. I'm loving grandkids and adult children and all of that.
You just had a new grandkid, right?
Yeah,
a few days
number
ago.
11. Number 11.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
So how was it being the oldest of 6?
Oh, I was the bossy one, trying to keep things in order, to be the little mom. And it was awesome, though. It was just really awesome. We have a great relationship as kids, and we've all gone, different ways, and we all got to have our own families, but just this incredible love and respect for each other in the way that we each do things. Yeah. Which is different.
Yeah. It's interesting how where you're in the pecking order with your siblings really kind of dictates what your experience is. Being the oldest has its different things about it, being the middle, being the youngest, all those kind of things.
Right.
And I always like to ask that question because it's just interesting how it's all different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
So what were some of the things growing up that you could share with us that maybe you learned that's kind of, maybe helped you up to this point in your life even? What were some of the lessons that you were taught?
I had really involved parents, And they were always, I mean, 6 kids, you know.
Yeah.
How does my dad get to every event? I don't know how he did that, but he did. You know, we always knew he was there. He's got this shrill whistle. And we would hear that, whether it's at a piano recital or a baseball game or a track meet, right? You hear that whistle and you're like, okay, Dad's here. So Dad and Mom were, they just made it. They made it. They were there to support, you know, whether it was the whole game or it was 5 minutes of it, they were there. And so it was just always showing up, consistency.
Yeah.
And I see that, and I wanted to do that with my own children.
Yeah.
And I'm now sitting in the bleachers at my grandkids' games.
Right.
Because I want them to feel that same consistent support and love.
Do you have the same whistle or?
No, I don't, but I've always wanted it. I've always wanted that whistle.
There's some people can do that. I know what you're talking about. We had some neighbors and the mom had this same whistle and you could hear it from a block away. And all she'd have to do is whistle. And I was like, oh, it's time for dinner. And they would all head home. But you could hear it. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah. So I grew up in this really loving, supportive family, but my mom and dad always made us aware of others who were maybe not so fortunate, who didn't have that kind of an upbringing or who had other struggles in their lives. And so it was always a sit-down conversation around the dinner table of who reached out to the kid on the playground today that had no friends. Did any of you do that?
Really?
Yeah.
They would ask you those specific questions. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And it would be, I want you to go, you know, my brothers or somebody would come up with somebody who they knew was handicapped or had some other issues, and he was always by himself. And my dad would say, I want you to report back tomorrow what you did.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, you know, we did a lot of giving during the holidays and spent a lot of time making other people's lives better.
Yeah.
In very small ways, because that's all we could do.
Sure.
But to just be there. So I've always sort of, I've appreciated that as I've gotten older, because I see that comes from my parents. I still have a need to do that and to reach out and to notice the differences in others.
Wow, what a great thing to teach your kids.
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to specifically say, who reached out to the kid that was struggling today? Mm-hmm. Wow, I love that. So, you know, tell us how you were as a child. Like, were you, you obviously are a very confident person. You speak, you write. Were you that kind of confidence back then when you were growing up? Did you have those same kind of qualities?
I loved shining a little bit. I took piano lessons for 13 years.
Oh,
so,
wow.
you know, I remember doing recitals. I loved that moment in the spotlight because I had worked really hard.
Yeah.
And felt confident in that moment. But in general, I'm not as outgoing as I am in front of the microphone. You know, if I walk into a big event, I have to sort of make myself, okay, you know, be bold, take a step, go introduce yourself. I have to sort of put on a new frame of mind to do
yourself.
that. Yeah, I gotta give myself a pep talk.
Right.
But so I'm not an extrovert. I would say that I'm a mix. I'm kind of an introvert. I love my alone time. I love pondering life and thinking. And I think that's what writing is. You know, there's nobody else in the room, right? It's just me.
Just you
and my computer. And
so let's talk about that. You know, obviously you're a very good writer. You've written 3 books. You've got a 4th one on the way. We just mentioned off air before we started. When did you start realizing that you loved writing? Was it when you were younger, or did this come later in life for you?
This came later in life for me. This came when I was 50. Really? And I'm a business major from Arizona State University. And I was in a really difficult year, actually. I had just turned 50. I knew my last child was going to leave the nest, and I was going to be an empty nester. I had taught an early morning sort of a Bible study class, which we call seminary, and I was tired. I was really tired and pretty beat up, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and it was just a rock bottom kind of a year.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I had a dream. I was on an airplane going from Arizona to Utah, and I had a dream, and in that dream I saw my hands holding a book. And I knew it was my book. And I remember in the dream, I remember flipping through the pages and noticing chapter headings and things. I knew it was a book about hope. And I woke up when the plane hit the runway in Salt Lake City. I woke up and I knew there was two things. I had two thoughts. And the first one was, that was so, so real.
Yeah.
And the second one was, there's no way. There's no way. Why would I ever write a book? And why would anyone be interested in anything I have to say? And this is one of my cruddiest years yet. So what do I have to say that matters? And so it was a real spiritual moment for me.
Yeah.
And a calling. It was kind of a calling to do something that I didn't realize I could do.
Yeah.
And so I sort of battled through the next several months before I finally said, okay, I'm going to do this.
Wow.
I'm going to do this, and I'm going to talk about hope in my own life, and let's get going with this. And here we go. And I remember the first time I sat down to write, it was amazing because it came pouring out, just pouring out. And so I haven't stopped since.
Wow.
Yeah.
It all started from the dream, it sounds like. But
it did.
Again, you're also going through a difficult year.
Right.
And if I can ask, were you struggling with your own hope? Like, were you feeling at times hopeless during that difficult year?
You know, a little bit. I'd had a son that had been called to go on a mission for his church in Russia, and he came home early. He was called for 2 years.
Okay.
He came home early. That sort of busted up my whole little cookie cutter perfect life, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're expecting this to, 2 years or whatever, it comes back early.
Right.
And kind of like, oh, what's going on? And kind of rocks your world a little bit.
It rocks my world and the expectations of exactly, what I thought was going to be the little white picket fence life. Yeah. And I was keeping depression away at arm's length. I went through a real hard depression after my first child was born. Like fetal position
like
under her crib.
Like a postpartum, like that, yeah.
Yeah, bad stuff. That
really?
Was a bad time. And putting my husband through law school, so I'm the main breadwinner, and I have to just crawl to work. It was so hard. And I could feel that trying to come back, just those strings of depression.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm in a vulnerable position in my own life. And things aren't going the way that I thought they would go, and I was tired, and I, just physically and emotionally, and so it was one of those years where I was doing a lot of running and a lot of hiking to try to stay ahead of what I felt was trying to grab a hold of me again.
Right. Wow.
And I didn't want to go to that dark place again.
Sure. Yeah, that's very real stuff that people go through, and obviously it's interesting how an event that's not good can bring back up memories of a past event that are not good.
Right.
So what I find really cool though, you're going through this difficult time, you have this dream about holding your own book, and afterwards you're like, why I'm not going to write. When you finally decided, I'm actually going to do this. Mm-hmm. Did you feel like, man, it was almost like you found your sense of purpose again? Because I know a lot of moms go through this where kids are out of the nest. It's all been about being a mom, and now it's like, well, now what? Yeah. So did you feel like that you found like another purpose to move forward?
Right. And I had been just, really, kind of praying and meditating and trying to figure out, where do I go from here? And do I find a whole new career? I had put a resume into all kinds of places, and I was just floundering, right? I was just rolling around in the mud, like, where do I go from here? Yeah. And when I started that first paragraph of chapter 1 in Finding Hope in the Journey, my first book, it's like I all of a sudden just came alive. Like, wow. Oh, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to do. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So that was, quite the journey because for me, because I wondered who even wants to know my deepest thoughts and how I found hope in my life and how you can find hope. And I just wondered how that would resonate with anybody besides me.
Right.
But, people tell me all the time, you're telling your story, but when I'm reading your book, it's my story. The details are just different.
Right. Yeah. So, again, we said this in your intro that you're passionate about hope.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that for a minute, because, hope is a beautiful word. It's a great thing to have and to be looking forward to. Why does it mean so much to you, and why is that such a big, platform that you use moving forward with everything that you do?
Everything that I write about,
and
every time I speak, you're going to hear the theme of hope.
Yeah.
And I think it's just having a confident expectation and a longing for some promised blessing in your life that is coming, that it is out there. You just can't see it, and you don't know when it's going to happen, but you just have this inner strength and this inner faith that things are going to be okay.
Yeah.
You don't know what that's going to look like necessarily, and so I'm drawn to that in other people's stories.
Yeah.
As they struggle, incredible struggles. The people that I write about have, off the chart struggles.
Right.
Right. You read their stories and you say, wow, I can't complain for the next year about anything.
Right. I know. Yeah.
Yeah. A number of people have told me that. Readers tell me that after they read, I think they're like, okay, my pity party is over.
Right.
So I love that. I just, the more I understand where people have been and where they've gone, how they've risen up from incredible ashes of despair.
Yeah. Wow.
I love that. It motivates me in my own life.
Mm-hmm.
I just have this positive expectation and vision of life and the beauty of life through their stories.
Yeah. I love what you said, a confident expectation that something good's on its way.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's not just an expectation. It's not just a wish. I'm talking about a deeper.
Yeah.
Something that's deep within you.
Yeah.
And you just trust it.
Yeah.
It's a confident expectation.
So did you feel yourself, as you're writing, about other people's stories, which we're going to get into, did it feel like at the same time you were kind of almost, healing yourself, or in other words, maybe increasing the hope for yourself at the same time?
Oh, sure. I just absorb their stories. And I feel it. And I always say I like to write from my heart, not my head.
Yeah.
And people say to me all the time, I cried when I read, this book or this book. And I say, yeah, I cried when I wrote it, which is absolutely true. Tears running down my cheeks as I'm writing these stories, because I'm putting myself in their position, and I'm just trying to feel what they felt and to put that into words, and to really recognize that incredible hope that they had deep down inside that they never let go of, no matter what was happening in their life.
Wow. That's beautiful. Beautifully said. Well, speaking of that, you've written 3 books, got one on the way. One of the books is The Secret Keepers.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. That's an interesting title.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it titled that? And then tell us about who you've written about in there.
Okay. I
wrote
about Margie.
Yeah.
And Margie reached out to me because she had read my first 2 books, and she said, you describe hope unlike anything I've ever read. And so it was this conversation that we had. A mutual friend put us together, and I said, would you just call her as the author? That would just mean the world to her. And so I love doing that. I love reaching out to readers. And I called her and thanked her for loving my books. And she said, well, I have a story too, which a lot of people say to me. But I said, tell me about yourself. And I sat back in a comfortable chair, and within 2 minutes, I was up scrambling for a paper and a pencil.
Right.
Because I learned quickly that she introduced me to dissociative identity disorder, DID.
Yep.
Used to be called multiple personality disorder.
Yeah.
And she introduced me to that. I understood quickly that she had been horrifically abused and endured incredible trauma as a young child from the age of 5 throughout her childhood. That was on so many levels. It was ritual abuse. It was sexual abuse. It was medical drug abuse. It was the whole gamut. And yet, and that's such a dark subject that I wouldn't normally write about, right? As an inspirational nonfiction writer, wouldn't normally be drawn to that. But what I was drawn to was this gratitude for her life and for beauty in the world, and this courage that I could just feel through the phone.
Yeah.
And this incredible faith that she had that everything was eventually going to work out, and she was still on that road. And to be able to go through all of that, I just thought to myself, she is the very definition of hope.
Wow.
And so I agreed to meet her. And a few months later, we met together, and I walked away and said, I'm going to write that story. I feel like I'm supposed to write that story.
Yeah, yeah.
And, even some of her family members and herself, she would say to me, I don't know how you can write about hope. I mean, I don't know how you can have an inspirational book from this dark story. But really, the book is about her rise.
Yeah.
It's not about the abuse.
Right.
We have to mention the abuse in the first few chapters, but it's about her rise up out of this incredible, horrific life as a child.
Yeah.
So that got my attention, and those are the kind of stories that I love to tell, and I love to inspire others through that. So she's amazing.
Yeah. How did she feel about you writing about her story?
It was interesting. I mean, we had to do the little dance, right?
Right.
We had to get to know each other.
Yeah.
We had to learn to sort of love each other and trust. I mean, boy, she needed to trust me.
Yeah.
To open up.
For sure.
Right? Because those parts that she carries, which are abused children, in a sense.
Yeah, right.
That's who those parts are.
Right.
That when they come out, they have a story to tell. And they needed to trust that I would listen and that I would respect and
wow.
that I would listen to them. They deserve to be heard.
Yeah.
And to tell that story. But Margie has got such a great grasp through a lot of therapy that she's been through, that she, as the core, can always stay out front and focused and sort of get control of all of it. And it's amazing to see, and I have such respect for her to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So she's carried on, and she's lived this beautiful adult life in a marriage that has lasted, through all of these decades.
Wow.
And
which is amazing.
Yeah. And beautiful children and grandchildren. And so she's taken something that was so ugly, and she's been able to rise up and make a beautiful life for herself and for all future generations.
Right.
Right? The abuse stopped with her.
Wow.
And isn't that amazing? I mean, that
amazing.
is the gift that she's given to everybody beyond her.
Love that. Yeah, she's affecting generations by this change.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just so admirable.
I've heard that once. It's one of the hardest things to do is to change a pattern that's been going on so you can affect the generations behind, that are going to come behind you. Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Yeah, it's so powerful.
Right.
Yeah, and I've said before to her, Margie, if you don't see any other blessings in your life, if you don't feel like they're for you, think of the generational blessings that you've provided.
Goodness. Yeah.
They're never ending.
Never ending.
Yeah.
So beautiful. So how's the response been with this book? I mean, I already know, but I would love to hear you talk about the responses that you've received from writing this book.
Yeah, it's really incredible. I mean, to win an inspirational award for 2021.
It's amazing.
I love that because the panel of judges, they come from all walks of life and all religions. I mean, it's not religion specific or anything. And for them to see this book that's about this dark subject and to say this is the inspirational book of the year.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that they see that because that was my intent.
Yeah.
We didn't want to write. I'm not a Stephen King author. I don't want to write that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, you're far from that.
Oh my gosh. And if she wanted that written, she needed a new author. And we used to joke about that.
Yeah.
No, she wanted to write, she wanted her story to help others.
Yeah.
And so we were able to do that, I think.
Wow.
Because we're receiving a lot of feedback from people who don't know anything about DID.
Right.
They say, wow, this opened up my entire world. Like I get it, and I'm going to be sympathetic and sensitive to people who've been in abusive situations or just trauma. It's not just abuse.
Yeah.
Any kind of traumatic situation. There's vets that come back from wars that have a little bit of DID issues.
For sure.
Yeah. And so it's really, it's educational that way, but it's also so inspiring to watch what this woman does with her life.
Yeah.
And so the emails that I get, I've always forward them on to Margie,
Sure.
and we just cry. We just read
my
them and
goodness.
cry. And she said to me once when we were writing, compiling the book, she said, if I can just reach one person, this 2-year project will be worth it.
Yeah.
Just one person. Well, she's reached thousands.
Thousands and thousands.
Yeah.
And hopefully some more by just you being here, Heidi, sharing it again with our listeners here.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. When we had the first book order came in, and so we had this big celebration, right? We opened the boxes together.
Yeah.
Here
That's
it is.
amazing.
Oh my gosh, it's so real. And so we sat down at her kitchen table and piled the books up, and we were going to sign 200 books for an event that was coming up.
Yeah.
The two of us, we wanted both signatures on there. So I grab my pen, I start signing away, and I look over, and she's just sitting there, right? I said, Margie, are you okay? And she said, this little girl, meaning this little girl that was abused, one of her parts, this little girl was ignored and not heard for so long. And look at this book right in front of me. Here it is. And I had just received an order for books to go to England and Scotland. And I said to her, Margie, that little girl is going to be loved and heard all over the world.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we just cried.
Chills, seriously, like really.
We just cried. I mean, it just is this full circle moment that she just can't believe she's put that story out there.
Wow.
But she feels this great sense of peace in being vulnerable enough that she's letting her story be out there.
Yeah.
Because how scary is that?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, here's my story. I'm talk about vulnerability.
Oh, yeah. And so it's just been an amazing journey to be with her and to have her trust me, to tell it the way it needs to be told. I've never been so nervous in all my books as to give her the manuscript and say, okay, read it and then call me. And I gave one to her husband and said, read it and call me. And it was just torture for the next 3 days. They read it in 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah. Did I get it right?
Right. Yeah.
Did we, are we going to inspire? Are we going to uplift? Are we going to enlighten? Because that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
At the same time with a full understanding of what's happened to her.
Yeah.
So
wow.
It's been amazing. And I feel like we've done that. And she has said to me, my whole life as a child, I've prayed and prayed and prayed that this would be taken away, or that I'd have some miraculous healing, some miraculous just take all of it away.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And she said, for the first time in my life, I feel like my healing is that I'm going to help others.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to be healed. It's not going to be taken away. I'm going to just move forward and make a little difference in the lives of others. That's the healing.
That is, yeah.
And isn't that, for her to say that when I know, so much about where she's been is just, because I would like to have it taken away from her too.
Yeah, right. You don't want anyone to suffer like that.
You don't want anyone to suffer like that as a child, as an innocent child. And for her to be able to have that recognition is just, and for that I'm a part of it is just amazing. I feel like I was called to it.
It's amazing you did that, and it's amazing you wrote her story and allowed her to have this platform. I've heard it once said that if you want to leave a legacy, you need to write your story down. So what's so cool about this is that 100 years from now, someone's going to read this book.
Yeah.
And it's going to save someone's life in that moment and bring them that hope that you talk about, that you're so passionate about. That blows my mind when you look at it that way.
Right.
So because of you, obviously you have provided that for her, that, again, affecting generations that we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Reach out and just make a difference in the way that I can. There's a lot of hurt in the world, and there's a lot of hard things out there.
Yeah.
And this is my very small part in how can I make a little difference in the world?
Yeah.
How can I bring some light to somebody?
Yeah.
It's just my way. I can't do it all. It can't be everywhere, but I can do this.
But
I can do
it.
this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Like you had that dream again. I would go back to that.
Exactly.
And then here's this book. It's right in front of me right here, The Secret Keepers. And you share this amazing story of hope. And it's affecting people, like you just said, it all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Had you just ignored the dream or said, nope, that's
Right.
not what I'm doing.
Which I wanted to so bad. So bad.
It's just funny. It's amazing how there's these transformational moments in time
Mm-hmm.
that when we act upon them, it's just amazing what comes of it. And
Yeah.
look what you're doing.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
And it's not some big event, right?
Right.
Usually it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I look back at how you even got started, right? The lemonade stand.
Lemonade. Oh my goodness.
Right?
Yeah.
That's such a tiny moment,
Yep.
but it like completely
Yeah.
turned things for you.
Yeah.
And that dream was, I could have just said, what a stupid dream, right? And I did. I did.
Right.
In fact, but I knew, you know what, Todd,
Yeah.
there was something inside me that just knew that was something more. But I didn't tell my husband about it. I didn't tell my kids about that dream because I didn't want it to be real. I wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it never left my heart. And so at some point, and I look back and that was a complete transition into a new
Yeah.
season of my life that I
Right.
never saw coming.
Yeah.
And it can be that way for your listeners, and it can be a small moment, for anybody, a small moment to sort of pivot
Right.
and say, okay, this is it.
Wow. I love that.
And you look back and it wasn't some huge, expensive, extravagant event, nothing formal. No, it can be just a really simple moment that can propel you for the rest of your life
Yeah.
onto better times and a healthier lifestyle or whatever is in front of you.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that's an important point you bring up, because I think sometimes I hear it from my clients too, that they're waiting for some big event
Yeah.
or some big aha, something slapping upside the head. And I'm always telling them what you're just saying is, it's usually really simple. It's actually really small, but yet powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's the things that, so if you have this prompting or this feeling, you should probably act on it, because you never know what's going to come of it.
Right.
Instead of waiting for this big
We
bang.
want the billboard,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Right.
I include myself in that when I say
Sure.
we
Yeah.
want the billboard that spells it out.
Mhm.
And so often it's a whisper. It's not a billboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. There's a scripture in the New Testament in Psalms 46:10 that says, "Be still and know that I am God." And then if you cross-reference still in the footnote, it says silence. And it's usually in those silent moments is when it hits you. Because you said it. You were praying, you were meditating, you were trying to find your way.
Right.
Then you have this dream. It's no accident.
No.
I mean, that's all
I was
part
asking.
of absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, someone will go, "Oh yeah, it's just a dream, this, that." No, it obviously wasn't, because here we are.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm so glad you shared that part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, as obviously you probably still stay in contact with her, and that, and you love sharing other people's stories. Is that kind of what you're going to keep doing as you move forward with, I know you got another book you're working on.
Right.
I don't know how much you can share of that, but
Yeah.
is that the focus? Is you're just going to keep sharing personal, powerful stories like this?
As long as they keep falling into my lap.
Yeah.
Because I keep saying, my grandson the other day said, "Grandma, when are you going to stop writing books? Are you going to stop writing when you retire?" And I said, when God stops putting them in my lap, then I'll stop.
Yeah.
But they just keep coming. And I wait for that sort of little feeling I get, like, oh, wow, I need to tell this story.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to tell this story and help this person. And
Love
so I will just keep doing that. My next book is about a boy in Kenya, Africa, who rises up from the largest slum there and just outside of Nairobi, and
Wow.
Eventually gets to the United States, and he's just this incredible person and an adult, and he lives here in Utah now, and
Okay.
he sang in the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. He's just a powerful individual, and eventually went back and put a bid in to run for president of Kenya in 2017. So it's kind of this story of, again, it's the rise. It's how
the rise.
how did this
Love that.
boy come out of the slums and turn his life around and eventually be in a position where he could actually want to lead the people in Kenya. I mean, he's just amazing. And the book's called Bridge of Miracles, and it's going to be really powerful, really different. You know, it's very different from Margie's story, but I felt compelled to tell it, and so I'm excited about that. That'll probably be out in the spring.
Nice. Congratulations on that, man. That's amazing that you're doing this.
Yeah.
And I love, I mean, I can even feel it sitting here with you, that how passionate you are about bringing hope to people, you know, and that's what your books are doing. And
yeah, I hope so. I hope it, you know, changes some lives and just gives people some uplift in their hard circumstances. And that's my mission, is to do that. But I also receive every story that I write. I learn principles from, you know, for Margie, it was, I've learned to trust my core. Because that's what she has to do every single day when she wakes up. She has to find her core, whatever you want to call that, your soul, she calls it her core, to move forward in life and to just trust that she's got this divine identity, and that she has to sort of tap into that, and she matters because of that. And she also taught me how to anchor in hope. Because for her, she taught me that you can't place your hope, you can't place your anchor in people. You don't want to place your anchor in circumstances, because those can change and those can betray.
Yeah.
For her, her anchor is solidly placed in Christ. That's where she placed her anchor.
Okay.
For everybody, they need to find that. You know, where is that anchor, and be careful where you place that.
Yeah.
And for her, it has served her well, and she has never lost her hope because of that.
I love that.
And then she's taught me persistence. Oh my gosh, persistence every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets up and she finds a way to get through the day and to make a difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
She's kind, she's beautiful, she's loving.
Wow.
People that knew her, that read this story, it blew them away.
Really?
Because they never saw it. They never saw it. They can't believe she's been where she's been because she is such a gracious, loving, kind person.
Wow.
Yeah. So
amazing.
Been super fun.
That's awesome. Well, you know, what does a day look like for you? Like, what does your day look like?
I wear many hats.
Yeah.
I wear many hats. I've got my mom hat and my grandma hat, but I've also, I do work for my husband's law firm. So I do all their bookkeeping, which could not be more different than my writing, right? Those are two very different hats. In fact, when I'm working at my computer doing bookkeeping and payroll and all that kind of stuff, I'm playing, you know, fun rock music or whatever I want to listen to.
Right.
And and then if I'm going to write, it's a different Pandora station.
Yeah, I bet.
It's an inspirational instrumental, no words, and I sort of fill my office. My kids, anybody that knows me, that when they walk in, they know if I'm writing based on what's playing in my office.
Right, gotcha.
So I wear those different hats, and I spend some time marketing the books. I spend some time, I do a lot of work on social media, just with, I've got a YouTube channel. I try to put really all uplifting. So there's no politics, right?
Right.
There's no specific religious affiliation. I just want to really reach out and just light up people's lives, because life is hard. There are hard things that we're going through. Yeah. Before the pandemic hit, there were hard things. Now it's even more complicated, and I just want to try to make the world a little bit nicer.
I love it.
In whatever ways I can. And so I just juggle those hats every day.
Yeah.
But I do also love, and it's important for me with my depression, and I've got a little bit of anxiety in the morning that I have to reach over.
Yeah.
It's important for me to be moving. And so early in the morning, you'll find me hiking or walking or mountain biking.
Okay.
And that is my love, to just get out there. And, you know, I've had people say, how is that relaxing for you? How do you get sort of inspiration for what you're writing or what you're going to do in life? I said, no, that's where it happens.
Yeah.
That's where it happens, is on the mountain.
Yep.
For sure.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, my arms and my legs are moving.
Yeah.
But my mind is clear as day. I never
Yeah.
play music in my ears
Yeah.
when I'm exercising. It's just silence. I just want to be in the beautiful world and to recognize it and to be open.
Boy, I love that. I'm the same way. I run and I work out, and I don't like to put music in my ears for that same reason. And I get more inspiration.
Yeah.
And revelation when I'm doing those things. It's amazing how that happens.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome.
And just encouragement that maybe just an encouragement that I may be on the right track, or keep doing what you're doing, or I don't know. It's just a real, it's kind of my place of openness and an open heart. And am I doing okay?
Yeah. Wow. I love that. What do you love most about you?
Ooh. I would say that I can see the good in everybody. Really, truly. I mean, introduce me to anybody, and I want to have a conversation with you. I want to get to know you. And I would never say, what's wrong with you? I would say, what happened to you?
Oh, I love that.
And I've always felt that. I feel like I see a silver lining in everything and in all people. And that's a natural gift.
Yeah.
And maybe my parents taught me that a little bit.
Yeah.
But
go back to,
hey,
who did you help today?
Yeah.
Who did you reach out to?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. What about that kid that's in the cafeteria that
Full
nobody
circle.
sits by? Yeah.
Man.
And so I do appreciate that about myself, and it helps me to be kinder and to see the good in the world. Wow. It is just everywhere.
Boy.
Despite what you see on Facebook.
Yeah, right. Well,
there is good.
I love that about you too, honestly.
Thank you.
I know many people do, and you really are bringing a lot of hope into this world. If people want to reach out to you, they want to, find your books, they want to ask you a question, what would be the best way for them to do that?
HeidiTucker.com.
Okay.
Easy, because I've got a contact page on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can they order your books from
that?
Yep,
they can order their books
okay.
from there. They can also, they're on Amazon. Some of them are at Barnes & Noble, occasionally Deseret Book.
Okay.
But really Amazon and HeidiTucker.com.
HeidiTucker.com.
Yeah, you can just come straight to me, and I've got links there to everything, my Facebook, my Instagram. I've got a YouTube channel. So it's all there just under Heidi Tucker.
Right.
Yeah.
Easy, simple.
Yep, keep
Very
it simple.
Good. Well, if there's someone listening to your voice right now who is lacking hope, who is struggling, they're not sure what to do, they're in a dark place, you've already given some beautiful advice, but what advice could you give that one person right now who's in that place?
I would say, I hear you, I see you, and recognize that the answers that you're looking for may be different than what you think they're going to look like.
Okay.
Because I've seen that over and over again in my own life, and I've seen that in the lives of others whose stories I consume and just try to write.
Yeah.
So don't give up, but just open your heart and open all of your senses. Position your heart to recognize, to see, and to hear, and to feel that glimmer of hope, because it may be in a form that you never saw coming.
Wow.
We do that. Right? We try to, we think we know what it's supposed to look like, and we think we know what all the answers to our prayers are supposed to look like. And sometimes they don't look anything like that.
Yeah.
So just hang in there and don't give up hope. Be confident that something is going to happen, and it just may be in a different package than you thought it would be.
Yeah. Might come in a dream.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. Very well said. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to thank you for being on the show today.
Absolutely.
And sharing your story and sharing your love, your light, your hope. I love that you say, I'm passionate about hope. I love that you've made that decision. And that's what you do. And I can feel it just sitting here with you.
Well, I think we both do it, Todd, right? I mean, you're doing it in your way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're spreading hope and light throughout the world through this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm doing it in my way.
Yeah.
We're both just trying to make the world a little bit better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to rub shoulders with you. It's great to know you personally.
Thank
now,
you.
See you face to face. And I can't thank you enough for coming here and sharing it. And I just love what you're doing. And if there's anything I can do to help you in the future or anything I can do, just please let me know, and just know that I really do want to be there for you if you need it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Well, there you go, folks. I told you this was going to be amazing. Heidi Tucker. Go to HeidiTucker.com. Check out her books, order her books, ask her a question, reach out to her. If you really are feeling like you're struggling, she will obviously help you in any way she can. And but again, we're grateful to have Heidi in the world, because we need more of this. We really are. So there you go. Thanks for tuning in. Please share this with your family. Please share this with people you may know that are struggling. Kind of like how her parents taught her, hey, who did you reach out today who was struggling at school today? Who did you sit by? So I'm going to give you the same challenge with this podcast. Share it with someone who's struggling. Who was the person you sent it to? And you're going to make a difference in their life by doing so. So I love you guys. Heidi, once again, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Take
so
care.
Awesome to be here.
Yeah, good to have you. Take care, everybody.